So there's two important things I want to talk about as part of this context-aware data strategy. The first is the right data. So it's great if you can push data out to people in key applications, but if it's not the right data, you're not going to have success. So we'll talk a little bit about what does the right data mean, and how do you put strategies in place to go get the right data. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about the right moment. How do I drive that at the right moment so that people can have the data on demand when they're connecting with those customers and building those customer relationships. So to do this, as I've mentioned, we've been working with all of you on the data challenges that you have across your sales, service, and marketing objectives. And today we're really excited to announce a new framework that we've been rolling out called the Right Data Framework. We refer to this as the road to the trusted customer record. How do we ensure that the record that you're looking at, that you're empowering your team to use to connect with your customers and build these relationships, is the right record? And last year, if you came to the Data.com keynote, we did something I think very exciting. We talked about the end of unknown. And unknown is when you run that report in Salesforce, the dashboard, and those pretty colors come back, you've got that pie chart, and 35 or 40% of it is unknown, right? When you say, what's our best industry segment? Unknown. It's our best, who's our biggest competitor? Unknown, right? So we said last year, let's take on this challenge. Let's solve unknown. Let's make sure that you have this complete record when you're trying to look at your business, understand where you're selling, understand where you're servicing, understand where you're doing marketing. And that was a big part of when we rolled out Data.com Clean. And this was the idea that we would connect our data in the cloud every day to your data and make sure that that data was complete, accurate, and up to date. So that all your records were complete records, and that we would end unknown, and you'd have this complete view of your business inside your reports, your dashboards, and everything that your reps work with. So I'd like to take a second and talk about this kind of journey to completeness and this view, and have John Haberek come up here. He's the Director of Business Process Automation at Standard Register. Thanks, John. Thanks for joining us. I should add that John has been on our customer advisory board now, and his organization and others have played a huge role in helping this product evolve to where it is today. So thank you in front of our audience here for all the work that you've done there.
Thank
So
you.
tell us a little bit about Standard Register and about yourself.
Well, Standard Register is a 101-year-old company, and we're focused on the customer experience. We're an innovative company. We have 890 patents, and that's enabled us to deliver on products and solutions and services for on-demand and offline marketing communications to the healthcare industry, finance, insurance, and manufacturing.
So tell us a little bit about your role. What do you do at Standard Register?
The role that my team has within the organization is really to support the user community with customer-facing engagement tools. And I'm extremely passionate about it. It's a combination of technology professionals and business professionals that develop the right combination of tools and processes to provide a 360 view of a customer for our user community.
So tell me a little bit about this. We all heard 360-degree view of the customer. It's not a simple thing to accomplish. It's a good goal to strive for. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've done in your organization around the challenges and your goals around this kind of 360-degree view and kind of what that means to you guys?
Well, you know what? We, in a 100-year-old company, we have a lot of legacy debt, if you would call it, from a technology perspective. So a lot of the data that we have were really tied to our downstream systems. It was very much in a format in the way that we transacted with our customers, not so much in the way that we wanted to interact with our customers. So we really had a good understanding of what that was, and we lived it. And before we actually midway through, we were in a process of coming up with the right strategy to solve for our 360 view. About 90 days ago, we acquired another company, 100 years old too, that had just as much data that we had, that was just in the same format that we had. So we had somewhat of a large challenge. And what we really wanted to make sure is that we were able to greet these new customers into the Standard Register family as quickly as we could and take advantage of the new assets that we had. So we embarked on a customer data strategy. And what we did is we looked and examined our customer data, as well as our engagement process that we have with our customer. And what we found is that we wanted to build an environment for our user community when they log into Salesforce.com to understand not just the person that they're talking to, but the entire organization. We really felt that if we were going to deliver a really quality experience and really understand their business, we had to see their entire business. So Data.com, we leveraged that to build our hierarchy. Prior to that, like I said, it was tied to downstream systems. They were really built to and shipped to your contacts, right? Very flat.
Right, right.
Data.com helped us build that right hierarchy, understand the structure of the organization that we were connecting with. Addition to that, if anybody in the audience here, where your customers are in constant change, you know that you're talking to different individuals within your organization. We're running into the same thing. Our customers are transitioning from print to digital. And we are talking to different employees within that organization than we had before. What we really needed was a tool to provide us the contacts associated to that organization in the complete organization so we can have really good conversations.
And drive the value of the CRM, because then you
Totally.
get reps using the app because they get the value in return of the kind of give-get.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we use Salesforce to gain insight about the engagements we have with our prospects and customers, right?
Yeah. How are your reps responding to this and the people using the application?
I think they're responding pretty well. You know, our inside sales team, they really just saw it as a very flat file at one time. They really didn't, all they knew is they were talking to an employee at a company, but they really didn't know the breadth and depth of the organization and how big that company was behind the person that they were talking to.
Right. Well, it's fantastic. It's a great use case. And again, I can't thank you enough for all the help you've given us in
thank you
insights
for all
on the
your
product.
help, Andy. Really,
thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So I mentioned a moment ago the involvement we've had with all of you in building this product really together. We've had customer advisory boards, customer feedback forums. We are heavy participants in the idea exchange, and as you all know, this is a great vehicle where customers submit ideas and feedback on the product. Every release we focus on trying to tackle those top challenges, those top ideas. And I'm very excited to talk a little about some of the innovation we've delivered in the last year. Some of the things that are really true to the core, like the Duns Right matching capability, some of the metro area searching, so I don't have to know zip codes. I can just know that I'm looking in the Detroit area or the DC area and allow you to prospect, really kind of core functions that you all have given us feedback that are critically important to you, and we've delivered those in the product. We've also delivered on some of the big innovation that we talked about last year. For example, the Data.com social key, which enables you to connect the social handles and information with the customers that you're trying to connect to with the traditional business data that you often have today in your systems, so that you can get that complete and accurate view so you can connect with those customers and build those meaningful relationships. And one of the things we're very excited to announce available in our application now is list-based cleaning. This is one of the big requests that has come from our customer base, which is that this incredible cleaning technology that runs every night, connects to your data, cleans all that information. You've all said, this is fantastic, I love it. I want to be able to do it right now, right? When a list of leads come in, I want to be able to grab them and clean them and move those through a business process. So we've taken that to heart. We've built this great set of functionality. And what I'd like to do is jump into some demos so you guys can look at the product. I'm going to have Michelle Huff come up and join me, our Vice President of Product Marketing, and walk you guys through List-Based Clean. Thanks,
Great.
Michelle.
Thanks,
Good to
Andy.
see you.
So to best understand the new list-based clean, let's take a look at some basic data cleansing capabilities in Data.com. So in this demonstration, we're all Jason Smith, and we're a sales operations analyst at Standard Register, and we're starting off our day in Salesforce. Right? We're taking a look at the feed, and we can see that there are some counts that we're monitoring, and we see that one of our contacts, Jason Brenneman, has some updated information. So let's go take a look. And when we go to this page, I think many of you guys, prior to Data.com, will find this view very familiar, right? We often do not have complete information about our contacts, right? We can see right here for Jason Brenneman, we can see that we have his email address, but we have no idea, right? We see he's in information technology, but we don't know what kind of role he has in the organization. And we don't have his telephone number, and we don't have his address. right? And so we're lacking some basic information to make more deeper and richer communications and contacts. So what we're going to do is we can see the clean status that's not compared, so we're going to go directly into that. And when we take a look, what it's doing is it's actually pulling all the information from data.com, and we can see that there's Jason Brunneman here, but we can see that he's not only in information technology, right? He's the vice president of information technology, right? That's so much more relevant. And we can see not just the email address now, but we can see his telephone number, and we can see some basic address information, right? So this is great. This is amazing information, right? We had barely anything, and now data.com is pulling it out and providing it to us. Right? I'm still amazed every time I see it. So just talk about, right, better knowing a customer. It first starts with actually being able to get a hold of them. So what I'm going to do is just select all this information, hit save, and it's pulling all of that, right? No typing for me. It automatically updates and populates all this information in Salesforce. Right? And not only that, right, now I could see all this updated information, but not only that, when I go to Salesforce One, right, my entire team, whenever, wherever they are, when they're on the road, they're accessing their mobile phone, they can see that exact same updated information. Right? I can see the title change, I can see the address change, I have all that information right at my fingertips. Right? That's fantastic. Now next, right, the next thing on my to-do list, being in sales operations, is that I actually not just have contacts, but I have accounts to review. And so we'll be going back into here, and we have a workflow process here with new account creation. And the reason we do this is because here in this organization, we want to make sure that only one account gets created, right? But we also want to make sure we have complete information so we can decide and do things around market segmentation, around territory planning. And we can also use this to make sure that we route the accounts to the right rep the first time around. Right, so with new list-based clean, we're taking a look at this information, and we can see we have accounts, but we're missing a lot of information. Right, so with list-based clean, I can select all these records, right, not just one, and then with, again, just a few simple clicks, what it's doing is pulling, again, all the information from data.com, and again, no typing, automatically right here, right now, right when I'm actually needing this information, populating this. And I can see, right, not just the company information, but I now have revenue information. I actually have employees. I have industry. I have specific location of where this company is, right? So much more information that I can use to direct this, again, right, to the right rep at the right time. So again, right, what were we taking a look at? We're seeing that when we even have just partial information, with data.com, we can bring the right data at the right moment, whether it be through contacts, whether it be through when I'm reviewing accounts, right? And everyone can benefit with more complete information whenever and wherever they are. Back to you, Andy.
Okay, so here's the moment that all of us at data.com have been waiting a very long time to dive into, which is the number 2 all-time on the idea exchange request, which is to fix duplicates. This is something every Salesforce customer has asked us for once or twice or a couple of 100,000 times on the idea exchange over the last couple of years, and we are taking on this problem. And we're taking it on not just in the traditional database management concept where back behind the scenes we're going to look at some things in the database and try to guess if things are duplicates. Much like the rest of the way we've built data.com, we are going to look at the way you use Salesforce, the way in which your teams engage with the data, and we're going to take on the duplicate problem head on. And we're going to do this through a couple of things as part of our right data framework. The first thing is duplicate blocking and alerting. So it's not just that you can create duplicates and somehow later in some dark room somewhere, some group of people figure out that these are duplicates, right? This is saying when our sales professionals, our service professionals, our marketing professionals are out connecting with their customers and they say, hey, I've got this great new customer, I'm going to enter them in the system, that's when we intervene. That's when we say, hey, the company already knows about this person. We already know about this account, right? Join the team, share with everybody else, and let's all build a better trusted customer record so that we can connect with this customer across the different parts of our organization. We're also going to give you tools to manage the data that you have in your application. More tools around merging, more tools around validation. So we do an incredible amount of work behind the scenes at data.com to validate, for example, the email addresses of the contacts that are in our data asset. We're going to expose those technologies to all of you, so you can do that. Whether or not the contact exists in data.com, our technology stack, our cloud-based strategy for data can be made available to you, so you can use those tools as well. Completely changing the way that you interact with data inside Salesforce. This will change your view on why and how you manage data inside Salesforce. This will give you this trusted customer record. This will ensure that as your teams, and you heard both Ken and John talk about having their teams trust the data in the CRM, having value driven by knowing that the record in the CRM was the right record, that it's not just complete, but that it's the record. This is the record. This is what the company knows about this person. When you saw Mark talk about connecting with your customers in a whole new way and building those trusted customer connections and building those relationships, that comes through knowing your customer. That comes through this level of trust and confidence in your data.